Hello, I'm AJ, the developer of ajLeaderboards, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a somewhat quick overview of how to create leaderboards using holograms, signs, heads, armor stands, and NPCs. If you would like to skip around, you can do so using the timestamps, but remember to not skip the first part. If you skip the first part, all of the rest of the steps will not work. In this video, we're going to be going through the setup page on the wiki, and I will be going through each step and explaining each step and how to do it. In the wiki here, it uses statistic player kills. I'm going to be using deaths to create a deaths leaderboard to show the players with the most deaths. So first of all, we're going to want to figure out which placeholder to use. So I want to create a deaths leaderboard, so the players with the most deaths will be on top. As you can see here, you can find a list of placeholders here. Now, this list is not a complete list. Many plugins are not listed here, so you will have to check their documentation, their wikis, to find their placeholders. Now, a lot of plugins are listed here, though. For example, I want to find a deaths placeholder. So the placeholder I want is a placeholder that would return the player's deaths. So you can use Control F to search, like on any web page. Then you can just type in deaths. Now, the first thing to come up here is statistic deaths, which uses the statistic expansion. And as you can see, under the statistic expansion here, there's a command here. You need to do this command, otherwise the placeholder will not work. If I copy this placeholder and try and use it now, you can see it just outputs the placeholder. So what I have to do is I have to go up here and copy this command. Then I run it in game. Then it downloads the expansion. Then I just reload. And now if I parse the placeholder, you can see it returns 0 deaths because I have not died yet on this world. Now that we have done this command, we can see that this returns 0, and it does not have any words or anything in it. If the placeholder returns words, ajLeaderboards cannot parse it. If it has commas, that is okay. ajLeaderboards will just remove the commas automatically and parse a number that way, but it must be a number. So 0 will work there. So now that we've confirmed that the placeholder outputs a number, we will do ajLeaderboards, add, then the placeholder, which is statistic deaths, and enter. And as you can see, it says board successfully created. So statistic deaths is the placeholder. Now, doing this command, we have created a board in ajLeaderboards called statistics_deaths. The board is separate from the placeholder, as the board is used in ajLeaderboards to reference the placeholder. So for example, if you ever see something that's asking for the board name, it's asking for this right here, but obviously without the quotes. So now the leaderboard has been created. Now that we've created the leaderboard, we can check that it's working by doing ajLeaderboards list, then the board name. Here we can see a top 10 displayed. Now this command is only for admins. Players are not allowed to use it. It is not meant for players. And this is only all time. But you can see there's 10 blank slots. I am not listed on this leaderboard. The reason I am not listed on this leaderboard is that I have the star permission in Luck Perms. So in order to fix that, we can use Luck Perms, user, then your username, permission, set, ajLeaderboards, dot, don't update, dot, star, and then set it to false. Now you can see it successfully set it to false. Now, if you only want to not show up in a certain leaderboard, you can specify that there, but if you can just put star in order to show up on all the leaderboards in ajLeaderboards. So now that we've set that permission to false, make sure to set it to false, not to true. If we set it to true, then it'll do the same thing and not work. If we set it to false, now we can do, and you can see there I am. Now, it might take a minute for you to show up on the leaderboard after changing that permission, just because ajLeaderboards only updates every 60 seconds by default. You can change that in the config if you would like. Now that we can see that the leaderboard is working properly, you can see I have 0 deaths, which we verified earlier. Now we can go ahead and display the leaderboard. So I've just gone over steps 1 and 2. Now let's go over step 3. This step is optional, so if you would like to use something other than holograms, you can use the timestamps at the bottom bar here to skip to one of the other steps. So this is using holograms. Here on the wiki, I have an example using the murder mystery placeholders. Now, obviously, we are not using these placeholders in this video, but don't worry, I will show you how to fix them to be the correct placeholders. In this tutorial, I'm going to be using holographic displays, which you can find by simply Googling holographic displays. You can see here it is. And I'm going to be using the latest beta release, which is 3.0, as you can see. You can download it right here. Since I'm using the 3.0 release, I do not need holographic extension. If you are using an older version, you can use holographic extension. I have gone ahead and already installed holographic displays on here. As you can see, there it is. So, to get started, all I have to do is holographic displays, create, then name the hologram. So I'm going to name it Death's Leaderboard, and then press enter. Now you can see there is default hologram. You can change it with commands if you would like. You can copy and paste each of these. So for example, set line Death's Leaderboard. You can do it that way, but I'm going to be editing it in the file. Now that we've created the leaderboard, we can go ahead and edit it using the file, which in my opinion is easier to copy and paste things with, instead of having to do it line by line. So to do that, we just simply go to your server, go to plugins, go to holographic displays, then database.yml. Now this file, you can see this is not the exact file, as this was created on an older version of holographic displays. So what I'm going to do is copy this, paste it here just for now. We'll remove this in a minute. Then copy all of these lines. Copy. Then remove this line here and paste. Now we're going to remove this since we don't need it anymore. Okay. Now if we save this file save, then do HD reload, you can see it does this in game. Now, the reason why it says board does not exist is because in these placeholders, it is using the murder mystery wins board. We have not created that board. We cannot create that board because we do not have murder mystery installed on the server. So let's go to edit, replace, murder mystery wins, replace it with statistic_deaths. Now let's go ahead and replace all. And as you can see, all of these have changed to statistic_deaths, including these ones. Now if we save this file and HD reload, you can see now there is the medium on every line. We're just going to remove that because that is a part of holographic extension and we do not need that. Now that we've removed all the extra mediums, we can save the file, then go back in game and reload the hologram again. Now you can see the leaderboard is displayed, but it still says murder mystery, so we're going to change that real quick. Deaths. Save. Reload. Now we can see we have a deaths leaderboard. Now if I die, then in a minute, this value will update. So while we're waiting for that value to update, let's go ahead and show you how to change how fast ajLeaderboards updates. So let's go to the plugins folder, go to ajLeaderboards, then the config. So this is the config for ajLeaderboards. You can see we have the no data name, which is this one right here, no data score, which is this one right here, the comma, which we can change if we want. This we can ignore for now. Now this is how often it updates. So by default, it updates every 60 seconds. Let's go ahead and change this to 5 seconds. Now 5 seconds in ticks is 100 ticks. The way you find that is just open a calculator and type in how many seconds you want. So 5 multiplied by 20. And you can see that gives you 100. So now we can save this file and do /ajLeaderboards reload. Now, if I die, you can see that in 5 seconds, it updates. And now you have a completely working deaths leaderboard displayed on a hologram. Okay, now that we've displayed it on a hologram, let's say you don't want to do a hologram, you just want to do signs. So I'm going to set up a quick thing made of stone right here, just to put the signs on. And what we're going to do is get a sign from our inventory and just place it down. You don't have to put anything on it. If you do accidentally put something on it, it's fine. You don't need to remove the sign. So what you're going to do is put your crosshair on the sign, then do ajLeaderboards, signs, add, and then you're going to want to put the board name, which it should start to autocomplete for you, so you just press tab. Then you want to put the position, so I'm going to put first, and then the time type. So you can see you have several options here. All time, daily, hourly, weekly, monthly, and weekly. I'm going to do all time for now. And then press enter. And as you can see, it updates with my name and my deaths. Now I'm going to go ahead and create more signs. Okay, now that I have created all the signs, I'm going to show you how to change it so that it says deaths on the sign. So open the ajLeaderboards config. Do that by going to the plugins folder, then ajLeaderboards, then config.yml. Now, what we're going to change is this option right here. So this is the default value. If you don't use ajTNT run, then you can go ahead and replace it, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to first put the board name. Our board name is statistic deaths. And then we're going to put the separator character, which in this option is a %. The % just tells ajLeaderboards where the board name ends and where the display name begins. So what we're going to put after that is deaths. Now we save the file and go in game and do ajLeaderboards, reload. And you can see deaths has shown up on all these signs. Now that we've created signs, you might want to also display heads above the signs. So all you have to do for that is go and get a head and place it above the sign. So you can see I can put those there. My head updated here. Now you don't have to put them there. You can also, if this is on a wall, you can put them like this as well. So say you don't want to use head blocks like this. Say you want to use armor stands. All you have to do for that is go get an armor stand out of your inventory and place it above the sign like this. And as you can see, the head is placed. Now, heads are not placed on these automatically because there's nobody on those slots. If you would like to, you can go ahead and put a blank player head there, and ajLeaderboards will override that once somebody becomes in that spot. Now, on top of the sign is not the only place that you can put the head. You can also put the head in front of the sign like that. And you can also rotate the armor stand any direction you want. So for example, that and the head will display this way. Or you can put it this way and the head will display this way. You don't have to use big armor stands. You can also use small armor stands. To create a small armor stand, let's go ahead and place a normal armor stand. Now that we've placed the armor stand, we can edit it to make it small. Now this only works from, I believe, 1.16 and newer versions. If you have older versions, you can go ahead and Google how to create small armor stands on those. So we are going to do data, modify, entity. Then you can see it auto-completes a UUID. That is the UUID of the entity you're looking at. Then we're going to put it small, then set value 1. And you can see the armor stand is now small. You can also show the arms using a similar method. Show. Now we have a small armor stand with arms. Now say you would like to display the leaderboard using NPCs. To do that is fairly simple. I'm going to be editing the example from the wiki again. So let's copy this command, then paste it into our chat box. Now we can remove this and replace it with the one we're using. Don't forget to also do it for this one too. Once we have edited the NPC name to our liking, we can see we replace this one, and also change this to deaths instead of kills. Then go ahead and press enter. Now you can see we have an NPC with the correct name, but the skin does not match my skin. To fix that, we're just going to copy the command from the wiki again. So copy this, then paste it. You can see NPC skin. Then don't forget to replace the board name. So we're going to replace it with... Now that we've replaced it with our board name, we can go ahead and press enter. And as you can see, it is now my skin. This only updates when Citizen tells it to update. If this isn't updated for some reason, but you see it is updating in this command, then you might want to contact Citizens about this. Now, see, it is saying I have 0 deaths. That might be because I made a mistake. So to check, first I'm going to do Citizens save to make sure it's saved to the file. Then, once we've made sure it's saved to the file, then we're going to open the plugins folder again, go to the Citizens folder, and open saves.yml. Now here you can see all of the data for the NPC we just created, and also any NPC you've ever created. If we do NPC ID, we can see it says 0. So now, if we go to here, we can find the one that says 0, and you can see here is the name placeholder. Now, it looks like I accidentally misspelled statistic here. So, to fix that, I'm just going to fix the spelling. Then save the file, and do citizens reload. Then you will have to do this again. Now you can see it shows my correct number of deaths. And that is it. Of course, all of these you can change. So for these, if you would like to change colors, you can simply open the file that I showed you how to do earlier and change the color code. Same thing with the NPC, or you can just change it when you're creating it. Thank you for watching. If you have had any questions during the setup, feel free to join my Discord and ask for support. I usually answer within a few minutes, unless I'm like sleeping or something. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in Discord maybe if you need support. Goodbye.